Inbound marketing automation, and we'll define into lots of things. We have for those of you that don't know us, green, and we have Brooke and Chantel back there. This is our picture we just took last week. We do all kinds of WordPressy things for WordPress, I think 12 and a half years. 7, so. Allthingswordpress.com. LinkedIn group, a Google Plus community, Facebook group. We get questions answered between meetups, and you get stuck in there, and others in here can help you solve it. You do that way pretty well. We also have a Slack team. We allthingswordpress.com/Slack for Q&A if you ever need. It's not hot, but we love Slack internally, so we're hoping that one gets going. Slack is wonderful, so come help us make that one wonderful. Upcoming stuff. This month, Diana, who is not here today, but Aaron, their little meetup. Actually, they'll have Micah Wood, who is a brilliant WordPress developer. Understanding functions.php and hooks and filters and all that stuff. So if you're a developer, it'll be phenomenal. If you're not, don't come, because you'll be very lost. But Micah is phenomenal. Micah is awesome. So if you ever want to know more about functions.php and hooks and filters and all that stuff, it'll be great. And that's a week from today in here. The next week is Kathy Druin's meetup. She's going to be doing a non-designer's color guide for your website workflow. She did ambiguous, I think, on purpose, so she can...
well, since I'm on the floor plugging things in, it basically means how to use some design tools when you're not a designer.
There you go. Very nice.
People like me.
Yeah, it's a lot of us, so it works out. So that is 2 weeks from today, May 12th at 6:30 p.m. over at the East Cobb Government Center. Meetup.com/AtlantaWP, WP Atlanta. There it is. Meetup.com/WP Atlanta. The next week, we have a lot going on here. Back in here, so 3 weeks from today in here, we'll talk about WordPress plugins for everything. I want that to largely be, I almost want to do a panel. I think we're just going to do a panel. So we'll bring up some subjects and talk about good plugins and what ones we don't know and diamonds in the rough, and just kind of talk through plugins and great uses for things like that. And then the following week, the business one, we talk about smooth projects from start to finish. So a lot of you have seen where Allie and I have presented about our process we go through for building websites with sitemaps and wireframes and all that. We'll kind of hit that again, but get more into some tools and how we keep track of tasks and credentials and keep things from falling through the cracks. So that should be a pretty good one there. So that's what's coming up. Some other news, I guess. A lot of you know Brad Iroff, passed away a few weeks ago. I encourage you, please. They have a GoFundMe set up for his daughter's college education. Today's free for you to attend, so whatever today's worth to you, $10, $20, whatever that value is, GoFundMe.com/Iroff and go contribute there. I know a lot of you already have, and none of the rest of you really have any excuse. Even if you don't know Brad, just consider today's toward that. Some other random news, just for those of you that are interested enough. Oops. I'm maybe switching from Verizon to T-Mobile. Some of you saw this on Facebook. I love spreadsheets. Susanna would be so proud. It's a shame she's not here, because she was a spreadsheet fan. But I just wanted to share, if you want to go, it's a public spreadsheet, you can see, but I've been testing Verizon versus T-Mobile speeds all over town just to see, because T-Mobile's a whole lot cheaper, but I always felt they were a lot lesser network. They're really not. The total average speed, Verizon got me 22.16 megs a second, T-Mobile's 22.11. And really at home and other places, T-Mobile's a lot better. So if you've been considering a switch, between those two at least, there's some good stuff. Linda?
How about when you get outside of city limits? That's the reason I have Verizon, because they're strong.
Correct, and that was my thought too. So we have some, if you go to the thing, you can see more of it. In downtown Cumming, T-Mobile's actually faster. Where were they? It's further down. There's LJ, Verizon was a little faster, but T-Mobile is strong. We have some in Birmingham. My wife traveled to Birmingham and other tests, and I mean, everywhere we went, T-Mobile was remarkably solid. So
T-Mobile was good in the mountains.
Yeah, at our cabin in the mountains there, Verizon was faster, but T-Mobile was more than adequate. So.
Can you create a Google map? So we can have
that'd be pretty cool, yeah. All the info's there. It's a public spreadsheet, so Aaron's going to create a Google map to...
Oh, you give me the addresses, and yeah, we have a plugin to handle maps.
There you go, perfect. So we'll also have to plug in. But anyhow, so between those two, Sprint I think is, I've never really considered because I know they're a lot less. AT&T is probably right in the mix in terms of quality as well. But anyhow, just for those of you, I'm always sharing that kind of stuff. So real quick, let's get Carl to come up, tell us about ClickHost. As you know, he brings Tom and Chi once a month, so for those of you here today, he brought that last week. But come next month, you get some free Tom and Chi from him, but we still want to give him a minute to tell us how great ClickHost is.
Oh, thank you. Well, thank you. I'm Carl Backer. I'm the owner of ClickHost.com, and we locally in Atlanta, and we support the WordPress community. We offer WordPress hosting, and we have three values: simplicity, honesty, and safety. So I'm very tech savvy, and I can dig and do SSH and all kinds of cool stuff. But for most people, that's just gobbledygook. So we try to make things very simple and understandable from a technology point of view. And security, we provide all kinds of add-ons that typically you would pay extra for as part of what we offer with our hosting. And yes, if you want the Tom and Chi, you'll have to come back next month. We'll have Tom and Chi, and we'll have some goodies that we give away. We did end up donating to Brad's GoFundMe as a Meetup group last time we met. So thank you for everybody that was here. Thanks, Vicky.
Awesome, thanks, Carl. All right, so let's get started. I think a few things to note. I know a lot of you have not been here before. We have a few new folks. Please interrupt along the way if you have questions. Just raise your hand. We're happy to discuss as we go, especially toward the end. I very much want it to be a discussion as we get into specific tools to use, because some I'm not as familiar with, and I know some of you are. I even have some of your names in here to call on, because I know you know these tools. To define these two terms, though, before we dig in, because they kind of use interchangeably, inbound marketing, marketing automation. They're really two related terms that aren't quite the same thing. Inbound marketing is really generating content to drive people to your site, putting out stuff that you think your ideal customer would want to see. They'll come to your site because of it and get them onto a list. And then marketing automation takes it from there and gives them drip email campaigns and ways to nurture it out from there. And we'll talk about kind of that whole flow. There's really other pieces in between. So we'll kind of walk you through that full cycle and then kind of go from there.
Yep, so that cycle that we're kind of going to start with is first we're going to talk about websites and exactly what some of the mandatories are to have on your website today to even make marketing automation and digital marketing even worth your time. If you don't have a website that's mobile responsive these days, it's probably worth to spend the money there rather than going straight to marketing automation. We're also going to talk about digital marketing and what all of those different terms are. Like Mickey said, the cycle between converting your users into leads and how to measure those results. And then finally, we'll look at those systems and tools that Mickey talked about.
Yeah, I always like systems and tools, so we'll spend a while in there too. But
through the other stuff.
yeah, well, really, the website part I will speed through because we talk about website stuff all the time. And for most of you, this is all second nature, so I don't want to bore you too much. But the general idea for your website these days, and really for the last decade or so, is the website to be the hub of your marketing efforts and everything else to be spokes driving in. So blogging, whether it's on your site or off, getting people in, email campaigns like with Constant Contact and MailChimp coming back, traditional media, we certainly do our share of print ads for folks and billboards from time to time, paid search, AdWords or Facebook ads or whatever, other social media coming in, and then keywords kind of throughout a lot of that just to help drive people in. So this is nothing new to a lot of you, I don't think, but this is kind of where we'll come from today, is ways to help drive people to your site and then figure out who they are and then continue to market to them. Website requirements, Ali alluded to. I think, again, a lot of you are very familiar with this stuff. Mobile responsive. I hope all your sites are mobile responsive these days. Content management system, of course, we recommend WordPress above all others, but you should have some kind of content management system of some sort. A blog or some way to keep content flowing all the time. Build a site with your ideal customer in mind. Build a buyer persona to say, all right, the ideal customer I have is, John, he's 36 and runs this company. Kind of build things toward that kind of persona. Keyword focused pages. We talked about keyword research before and stuff. Yeah, Lynn.
Are you recording this? So
Sorry, yes. It's live streaming on Periscope now. We'll have the video up later along with the slides later today or tomorrow. So yeah, so you don't need to take notes too much, but certainly write down what you want. Keywords kind of filter through all this. We talked about keyword stuff before. I'm sure we will again. Talk to Jenny Munn if you need more keyword stuff. Her and I will be doing a whole day-long workshop this fall around keyword-related things. So we'll talk about that more in coming weeks. And then strong calls to action. If you get people on your site, you want to make sure they know what they need to do next. That's the biggest mistake a lot of folks make. They have great content, people get to the end of the page, and they're like, I guess I'm done, and they can leave. You want to keep them moving on to other pages or sign up for lists or whatever you want to do. So, that's websites in a nutshell. Again, I didn't want to take too long there because we talk about websites every week pretty much. So we'll hit that in more detail as it goes. Yeah.
The one thing I was looking for was an opt-in to your email list.
Okay.
That's what I always
Yep.
look for.
Yep.
Yep, and that's part of digital marketing in general, and,
Yeah.
and part of that systems that we want to make sure that we.
Yeah, that'd be the call. Yeah, that'd be one of the calls to action. So yeah, a very common one is sign up for the list or sign up to get this great piece. And Allie will talk about that in a few minutes. But yes, absolutely. And then at the end, we'll talk about the tools to use to make that actually happen. So
Yeah, really, digital marketing is expanding upon your calls to action. I mean, it's really kind of taking that concept of what am I trying to get a user to do on my website and expanding upon it. So, anybody here already used some kind of digital marketing tool or inbound marketing tool, custom CRM system, some kind of customer relationship management or retention?
a couple.
Yep, awesome. So getting your website up to speed is step one. So certainly stay there if you're there, but exploring ways to start converting users when they get to your site is digital marketing. So if you think back, gosh, maybe more than 10 years ago, pre-internet bubble where we were really focusing on TV ads, radio ads, print ads, cold calling, door-to-door sales, consumer reports. If users were trying to find information about a product or a service, these are they would either turn to consumer reports, they may, have a cold call and actually take action that way. These are not necessarily dead. I mean, Mickey was sold on T-Mobile through a door-to-door salesman, so they are not dead. But it did lead to relatively uninformed buyers. Today, it's so different. I mean, people know exactly what they want to do before they even start looking at your website. So people are using Google and Yelp and Kudzu and Facebook to look at reviews. They're trusting people who are leaving reviews on these platforms rather than the salesmen, rather than the testimonials that are on your website. They're going to this crowdsourced platforms, which leads to well-informed buyers. We really need to kind of build upon that and take these people who are searching for information and eager to get their hands on some kind of information and give it to them. So Mickey said, define your buyer persona. Figure out who your target audience is. Okay, step one, awesome. Now, what are they looking for? And what kind of information, what kind of lead magnet can we create to really pull them in and subliminally learn more about your company, but also give them some information that they're searching for. Which brings us to inbound marketing. So essentially, inbound marketing is the process of moving a stranger, somebody who doesn't know about your company yet, but is looking for data, looking for research, craving that information, move them through a sales process on your website in order to convert them to customers. So in short, you do this by creating and distributing content on the internet where your customers are looking. So like I said, defining that buyer persona, where your customer's looking, what are they looking for, and we can take it from there. You do this through social media, through online reviews, through blogging, through SEO, landing pages on your website, creating a landing page that gives them more information or gives them that lead magnet that you're providing. Forms for collecting their information, collecting their email addresses, and then ultimately email marketing or drip campaigns. So that's what we're going to look at today. We're going to start with the inbound marketing process. This is the attracting a customer or attracting a stranger, converting them into somebody who knows about your company, somebody who's at least familiar with your product. Closing through some kind of communications, whether it's ongoing emails or drips or social, and then continuously engaging them and hopefully upselling a little bit, providing them more information for them to really, engage with your company and learn more.
So attracting is the first one. Getting people to your site, and again, we've talked about this at other meetups, we'll kind of dig into it a little bit. Really creating that buyer persona and then generating content that is easy for them to find. And the easiest way to do that, as we've talked about many times before, is blogging. If you're not sure what to blog, figure out your customers' basic questions and needs and answer them. You can even answer them in the title of the post. Those of us that Google a lot know that you shouldn't type a question into Google because that doesn't always get the best results, but people do it a lot. And so if you have a post that has a question as the title and it matches the question they typed in, Google will say, wow, that is a perfect match for helping them out. But really every blog you post is an opportunity for someone to come to your website. We've talked about indexing and some of that with Google before, but every page becomes a doorway to your site. So the more blog posts you have, the more pages you have, more quality pages, the better. Some stats on blogging. We never really got into this before. Yeah.
Do you suggest making the title of it actually the question, or do you?
You could, yes. Yeah, suggesting that could be a good idea. Again, it depends on your audience, but that title is probably the most important SEO piece of the page. And so if you think people are typing that question into Google, then you want to have that question as the title. Google will say, wow, that's a great answer to it. So we don't always do that, but you could, you know. And Jenny would be, yeah, you want to dig into keyword research and see what you really want to do, but that often is a good way to go. In general, companies that blog attract 126% more leads than those that don't. Some breaking that down further, the average company that blogs generates about 97% more inbound links, gets other people to link to them, which makes sense because we have great content. We link to other blogs all the time on ours because, hey, everyone go check this out, link off to them. So if you're blogging, people are probably going to link to you more often. Getting those inbound links is huge for ranking better in Google and generating that search traffic. That's an easy way to do it. You end up with, on average, 434% more indexed pages. And again, indexing, for those that haven't been here before for that, Google doesn't search the internet. Google makes a copy of the entire internet on their servers and updates it all the time. And to be on their server is the only way you'll ever come up in a search result, and that's called being indexed. So the more pages on your site you can have indexed on Google servers, the better. That's more chances for them to say, this one matches the search result, and get people to go there. So lots more indexed pages, and I think that number seems huge, but it makes sense. You know, most people have a 10-page website, then you have like 50 blogs. Hey, suddenly you have, you know, hundreds of percent more indexed pages. And then 55% more website visitors as a result of that. You have more pages, more links, you're going to get more traffic.
I have a question.
Yeah.
It's a toss out question.
All right, cool.
Is there anything in particular that you need to do to be indexed? Or do you just build your site and say?
Good questions. So do you need to do anything to become indexed? As a general rule, no. If you build a site, Google will find you, you'll get indexed. The more inbound links you have pointing to you, Google will think you're more important and index you faster and more frequently. And then in WordPress, there's the magic little checkbox that a lot of us are familiar with. In the settings general says, Google, do not index me, that people leave check by mistake sometimes, and they will listen to you. They will take your whole site out of Google for one little checkbox. But yeah, typically when you launch a site, you don't need to submit it to Google or anything like people did 15 years ago. They'll find you, but just get those inbound links. And again, you can attract them via blogging. We could spend a whole session talking about how to get inbound links because it's very difficult to do anymore. But there's usually some easy wins. You go to your Meetup profile with us and put a link to your site, and Google will see that link and go follow it over and go to your, if you're a member of a business association, if you know, there's lots of ways to get some easy ones. But yeah, you'll get indexed automatically if you don't screw it up, basically. So, keywords, you know, we've talked some keywords before, but finding the right keywords, the keywords that your buyer persona is searching for, not the words that you think they want to search for. I love Jenny Munn's example. If you've ever heard her talk before about horsenality, they had I think a horse trainer that they wanted to be ranked number 1 for horsenality because they help your horse develop a personality. But no one searches for that. They search for horse training. So she had to convince the client, use horse training on your site, and then later you can teach them about what horsenality is. But it's hard. You have to think through your customer's eyes and not through yours and the lingo you use and all that. And that's where you can go onto Google, and there's places you can research keywords and say, how many people search for horse training versus horsenality, and realize pretty quickly, okay, they need to do horse training. Again, we've done whole sessions on this before, we probably will again. Jenny has some good free resources at jennymunn.com you can download for that. But really just pick the right keywords and then generate content around those keywords. Whether it's questions you ask, if you have some good keywords, you can turn it into a question and give the answer, or you know, lots of different ways to do that.
Okay, so why do you rank 2 above me?
Yeah, I don't even know what I searched for there. I searched for something that made sure we were on top. So a very intentional search there. Yeah. That's good though. You can see I got you in there too though. So.
We probably did, we know.
Well, I was thinking that, but then why is she third? So yeah.
WordPress, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
WordPress training or something.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. So.
And he blogs and I don't.
Oh,
There you go.
there you go.
Brooke blogs a lot. She's awesome. Another way to attract is social media. Again, we've done whole talks on this, and I'm not a social media expert per se, but certainly getting stuff, sharing awesome content on social media is a good way to get people to come to your site, to get them into this buying funnel. You can really help put a human face on your brand too. You don't want to be, you know, stodgy behind a logo or whatever. That gets you out there, gets you talking, interacting with folks. But again, it's just one of those pieces to draw people back to your site. Often involves Facebook. Pretty much for all this probably should involve Facebook just because they're so big, like them or hate them, that's where tons of people are. But it could be LinkedIn and Twitter and Google Plus and Pinterest and Instagram, and you know, figure out what works for you. Don't probably be on all 8 of them. You know, pick 1 or 2 that really work and hit it hard. So we've got people coming to the site now, hopefully, as you've dug into all these. You've got some people coming, so now we want to convert them in the next step here.
Yes, so convert. Once you've gotten all these visitors to your site, you need to somehow urge them to keep going. So you don't have all these, people are bouncing off your site. Keep in mind the attraction phase, if you already have something that you're giving away on your website, that could be a way to attract them to your website. Come and explore 10 ways of, improving your marketing automation or something to your website. So that could be something you're using to attract. Once you get them to your site, you need to convert them and gather their contact information. This valuable information can be used for drip campaigns and your emails that you're doing next. Examples of ways to convert your customers and to get their contact information are things that we're all familiar with. They're ebooks, they're white papers, they're an app. Download our app and learn more about how to improve your. I think we have what was the app that we just did for the Roostalk.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
And then webinars. Webinars are giving away some information, slide decks, kind of like what we're providing today, would be a great way to bring people to your website as well. So all of these techniques, all of these different tactics are really great ways to convert people. So once you figure out what that document's going to be, what that lead magnet's going to be to put on your website, you need to create a call to action. So this goes back to determining what your calls to action are on your website. Here's an example of call to action that we pulled off of another company's website, HubSpot probably. 15 emails to keep clients happy. So you see these all the time, but this is a way for, if somebody's truly interested in improving their email marketing, they may be they were probably prompted to download this for free. Once they click this button, they're going to go straight into a landing page that's created to download this document. So you've all seen this before, but it's just a matter of really putting your brain into it and figuring out what is my buyer persona, what is my target audience searching for, and creating this information for them and giving it to them. So creating this landing page with a little synopsis of what you're giving away, a picture of the lead magnet, and then your form to actually collect the information. Yes.
As far as landing pages goes, I'm understanding, and please tell me if it's true, that you can actually create more landing pages than what you're actually going to put in your drop-down menus, but there are landing pages specific for a target.
Correct. Yeah, you want to build a landing page to speak directly to whoever you're targeting. It could be an ad, a Facebook ad driving people to it, or other ads, or some way you're driving people to a page. You want that page to speak to them. I'll build a page, say, hey, if you're a tall, bearded man, this is perfect, and Matt will land on it, and he'll love it. But if you hit that same landing page, you'll be like, well, I'm not a tall, bearded man, this is not any good. So yeah, building multiple ones that attract people different ways is great. And for those of you here last week, Aaron has a great little plugin to help build landing pages. It's called Blank Slate. I thought this was brilliant. So last week we talked about Beaver Builder, kind of a drag and drop builder for adding content to a page. He has a plugin called Blank Slate. So on any page,